Hello and welcome to another episode of 4Tims in a podcast. It is Monday the 11th of April, just after 6 o'clock, and the 4As are just going to get on and have a wee talk about Saturday's 7-0 demolition of St Johnstone, which came at the best possible time in the season, and the post-split fixtures which were announced a couple of years ago, which sees Celtic playing 3 of their last 4 games at Parkers. Tony, I'll start with you. Saturday was just perfect, wasn't it?
It was exactly what you were after. I think the manager got a lot of questions about complacency creeping in and the players thinking the league was won. And I think we say view that we just didn't think that was something he would allow. They just set about St Johnstone for the off. 7-0 wasn't a half scoreline in St Johnstone. It could have been more. Abad had a good chance in the last minute. We did create through it. We were just relentless. We never stopped. It was brilliant. I thought Diaz Almeida was again tremendous. His pressing is just unbelievable. Some of the finishes were great. Hatate takes his goal brilliantly. Giakoumakis, who I hope is okay. I don't know if they're updating him yet. He was really clever to get in for the second, and he read the back pass. O'Reilly, when he came on, you could have gave him man of the match. I think he was only on for half an hour. He was superb. It was just man for man. Everybody was absolutely brilliant. I was delighted. We couldn't have hoped for anything better. We've extended the goal difference by another 3. There's only 5 games left. We need to win 3 of them and we'll be the champions, which is something I certainly don't think I'd be saying this year. But no, I'm looking forward to the semi-final now. We can rest up for a week. They need to play a tough European game to try and get into the semi-final. So, it's all gone really well, and I don't see this team letting up. I think it can only get better. I mean, the amount of his signings that have just filled in perfectly. So I've never seen such a success rate where every signing's contributing. What a reaction to Kyogo coming on. It was great. His pass was world class to get Maida through and then a bad finish. So everything fell into place perfectly. It was a great response, because in the past we beat Rangers and then went out and dropped points right after it under other managers. So to show that we were showing no signs of complacency was great. And I'm just kind of wait for the next game to come around. So I'm looking forward to that.
You're right. There's a real good buzz about Celtic that has been for a long time, and thought the start to the game on Saturday, Darren, was brilliant. I think that if you watch the highlights for the SPFL, the first highlight of the game is St Johnstone's only shot in the game, which is a left-footed shot for about 20 years. It ended up in the Jockstein upper, but actually before that, Hatate should have scored before he did open the score. To me, it was a lot similar to the Ross County game, where you could just tell there was a quickness about them for the off. There was a determination, and Hatate scoring after I think it was 7 minutes just settles the team down, and it gets the crowd up for what's going to be another good afternoon. But Dan, what did you make of the way Celtic started the game?
I thought they started it fantastically. As we said, we spoke last week about how we believed Ange wouldn't let them go any sort of complacency, but I think you've got to give a lot of credit to the players as well, because they've got to then take that on the pitch. It's alright us believing that Ange wouldn't let any complacency sit in, but you know that players are well aware what the situation is, how likely it is that we're going to win the league. So it was massive credit to them. As you say, St Johnstone had a chance early, but it was a sort of 100-mile-an-hour start from Celtic, and as you mentioned, Rio Hatate had a chance before he even scored, and I was absolutely delighted for Hatate, because it's something that's just sort of annoyed me like in the season. It seems to be that certain sections of the fan base have the second the players know at the top of their form, like they seem to get, he's not good enough, he should be on the bench, and that, like, it's happened with Starfelt, it's happened with Taylor, it was even happening with Diaz Almeida a few weeks ago. But I think there was people sort of putting it down to like fatigue in that, and maybe that is the case. Obviously Hatate's played a season and a half, but I felt that he was receiving some unnecessary criticism. Like, I think it was you that said it last week, Danny. Sort of people were saying, no, he wasn't really there in the midfield last week at Ibrox, but it was you that said that it was just a sort of compliment to how well Cal McGregor and Tom Rogic played, that Hatate wasn't noticed as much. But so I was absolutely delighted that he got the first goal, and then it's just absolutely been superb this last 6 weeks or so. Like, I know Giakoumakis has got to sort of read the pass that's gone back through St Johnstone player, and that Bruce Sander Clark and put it in, but it all comes from Maida's pressing, and he's the one that's harrying the left back into the mistake, and Giakoumakis does excellently to capitalise on it. And I know you'll be upset, Danny, because it was an end to Jackie Marcus's one-touch finishes. That was one from the keeper and then one from an acute angle to put it in, but it was delighted for him. Obviously disappointing that he did go off. It's just that seems sort of typical. I know we've got a lot of bodies back, but it seems typical that we get Kyogo back and then we lose. Jackie Marcus, as Tony stated, I don't think there's been a really firm update on where Jackie Marcus is with in terms of being ready for this weekend, but the team didn't light up.
No, I think
I thought it was smart to bring a bad on, Danny, did you? I thought that everybody was ready for Kyogo, but I just all think that I know it's a completely different situation, but when you get brought on against Betis when Albania get injured and he went down, I think if you'd have threw him into that sort of intensity and something did happen, I think people would have just turned on Ange again.
I think Ange very clearly only wanted to give him 25-30 minutes. I don't think he probably felt it 2-0 up. It's a risk that he didn't need to take, and Abada came on and Maeda went through the middle, and Maeda, Big Andrews paid dividends 5 minutes later because Maeda scored a peachy header. And Maeda's came in for a lot of criticism since he signed about people. I know he scored in his debut, but folk have seen kind of asking what does he bring. But the last 5 or 6 weeks, he's for me he's been the best player of the last 5 or 6 weeks on form. I think he's brilliant, but the work rate, he doesn't give anybody a minute's peace.
Aye, it's been said a million times how he's like a wee Duracell bunny, he just keeps going. I think you're right, but it seems to be he's really sort of come into his own, in particular playing out on the left-hand side. I know him and Yoa sort of they'll kneel in and flip the wingers every so often, but for the most part he's out on the left-hand side, and he really seems to have made that role his own. And it would appear that's obviously where he's been signed. He's been signed to play out there. Obviously, there was a lot of questions about when he first came in. As you say, he was played through the middle. Just due to circumstance, strikers were out and Kyogo was out and Jackie Marcus was out and things like that. And obviously he scored in his debut and things. But he brings you something different out there. And he's a really intelligent player, and you see that in the way he presses. And he doesn't just sort of shut people down for just to run about like a headless chicken. He's always very intelligent, mate, and the pace he does it at for 90 minutes it's just fucking ridiculous, to be honest with you. But you're really seeing him just excel under Ange, and it's sort of just improving week in, week out. But the game itself was nuts. It was exactly what you wanted, just to go out and completely dismantle a team like that. Really could have been double digits, and I don't think anybody would have batted an eyelid. Just a really, really accomplished performance. It was sort of everything that Ange is sort of building the team towards. It felt as if everybody in the team was going to chip in with a goal at one stage. Just the way they went about their business was so professional. I mean, many times they even see teams, they go in 3-0 up off time, the job's done, but they came out and still just absolutely relentless. I think you're right in what you say about substitution. I think it's the right one to make it a Bada instead of Kyogo. Like you say, there's no need to have Kyogo out there sort of playing it was half an hour, so playing the best part of 60 minutes when the sub came on. I think that's been intentional, as you say. Ange probably only wanted 15-20 out of him, get him a run out, get him that standing ovation where the crowd's gone wild, and you seen that. But I think again the sub O'Reilly at half time's a smart one for me. Partly it's obviously the way to rest Rogic and get him off and things like that, but I think it does a lot for the intensity. I think you've seen that because O'Reilly's obviously come on and got a double. The Tumble substitution as well for Hatate, I think it's very intelligent the way Ange's went about it, and it's paid dividends to the relentlessness of that team. I think we scored 3 goals and within the last when O'Reilly scores his first tune, it's about the 70-minute mark. So we scored 3 within 10 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, towards the end of the game. That says a lot about the way that's said that a million times, that we never stop sort of mantra, and I think you see that in particular. It's the players that are coming off the bench as well. They're out there planning to make an impact. They're not just going out for a wee run out. They're going out playing with the same intensity as the players that started the game, and I think you see that. But the quality we've got on the bench to bring on now is just we're a world away from where we were at the start of the season, Danny. It's mental we're in this position, but usually you'd be fearful of a slip up if a player sort of think the job's done, but I don't have that same fear as I have in seasons gone by where we have been in a bit of a title race. Obviously a good few years since there's been one like this now, but in all the times thinking about title races, as I say, in years gone by, you'd always be fearful of it, but I just don't get that impression with an Ange side that the players are going to even be allowed to take their eye off the ball. And I think that because we've got that depth now as well, anybody that's not pulling their weight, they're going to get replaced by somebody who's chomping at the bit to go in that park, and somebody who's just as good ability-wise. Like, the substitution for Rogic and O'Reilly's mental. Like, that's two players who really are phenomenal midfielders, so creative. I know Rogic doesn't get his goal, but contributes so much to the team, and then like you see, O'Reilly comes off the bench and gets a double, and again I think one of them's assisted by Turnbull, another guy who sort of plays a similar role to they two. Like, the depth of got's mental, but it's just a phenomenal performance. Couldn't get a smile off my face after the game, Danny.
No, I think you're right. I was the same. It was one of the games you never wanted to end, and considering 7 or 6 days previous, you're sitting with 20 minutes to go, just praying for the final whistle. Like, you get to a week later and you're like, I could watch this all night. But if the first half was good, Darren, second half just became the Matt O'Reilly show, didn't it? I mean, he came off the bench, as Andy said, for Rogic, and I thought he played with a Tripney shoulder that he had to come off injured at Ibrox. I thought he came on and played very with purpose, and I know it's quite. Everybody says Ange's teams we don't stop, etc., and it's became a bit of a saying for this team. But my God, O'Reilly proved it on Saturday. I mean, he's both his goals were terrific team goals, but his finishing for the second goal was just sublime.
Aye, absolutely. As you say, he seems to be playing with that sort of determination that he obviously didn't get too much action at Ibrox because he had to go off injured, but he was sort of playing on Saturdays as if he's absolutely desperate to be one of Ange's midfield three when we play at Hampden on Sunday. And as you say, the second half as a whole was right up there, like you mentioned, the Ross County game where we were superb the first half, but the sort of red card sort of killed the game, I thought. And like that was it for me. That was one of the differences, was that momentum just kept going. Obviously, Hatate wins the penalty, which Juranovic puts away, and I thought it was a great finish as well with the penalty because Clark went the right way. And then the fifth goal, like O'Reilly, the diving header that he puts in from Turnbull's cross is excellent, but if you just look at the build-up play, it's just like the couple of goals we scored in the second half are right up there for like our goals of the season. Just the way, I think the first one that I was speaking about there was with Joe Hart and Cal McGregor playing it out with Turnbull involved as well, and then the second one, Greg Taylor's pivotal. I thought he was again outstanding, and it just seems like this team is just, like Ange spoke about, having 24 or 25 players who are desperate to be playing, and I think that's you're really seeing that in action at the moment. And obviously at this point, Milos Chakimakis and David Turnbull walked off near the end as well with a slight injury. So the good thing is that we do have this sort of calibre of player on the bench, such as Matt O'Reilly. No, it was just an absolute joy to watch, and I know a lot of people think we're better towards Neil Lennon, but I just think about like when we hammered St Johnstone 7-0, I think it was the first day of the season and 9 in a row season, but this just seemed like, to me, this was like a far more convincing doing. Like, I think that was a game where Ryan Christie infamously came out and said that Lennon had told him just to shoot from everywhere, but I think the sort of purpose and style of play that this Postecoglou team is playing with now is right up there with what I've seen from watching Celtic.
Right, I think the second half was really good to see that going into April they can produce that, going under the pressure, because you know what it's like. We know we'll get better players than the teams in the league. We know we should be beating them at Celtic Park, but to do it under the pressure, because there's got to be an awful lot of pressure on the players today. What they did on Saturday was just incredible, and Tony, the crowd get what they were waiting on when Kyogo came on for Jota, and straight away he was into the thick of the action, played a great pass. Came really deep, actually, into the McGregor role. Great pass from Maeda, who brought it down for his cell, and then Abada finished it. But that was just another example of total fitba. And then straight after that, Kyogo missed a great chance. Straight for kick-off to make it 8. How pleasing was it for you to see Kyogo back, not just on the park, but back in about it again, creating goals and having very good chances at goal?
Oh, it's tremendous to see him back. I mean, he was the main man the first half of the season. We've coped tremendously well without him, but we're getting right into the business end, and to have him back for the split in the semi-final and hopefully a Scottish Cup final could be huge. He's an extraordinary player, extremely talented, hard-working. I think watching him and Maeda press some of these defenders in this league should be quite interesting to watch. So for me, I think he probably starts the Cup final if Giakoumakis isn't 100%. I think teams are scared of him, and rightly so. But no, it's phenomenal to have him back, and hopefully he can remain fit and have a big impact. And it's crazy to think we were 6 points behind when he got injured, and he's come back and we're 6 clear with such a superior goal difference. So that shows you what this team's managed to do with, in my opinion, our best players. So I think it wouldn't surprise me if other teams take a bit of doing before the end of the season. I think this team are just relentless now. They seem right up for it. They are the best team in the country. I don't think anybody can dispute that. So, it's brilliant to have him back. It's good to have David Turnbull back as well. I know he kind of just walked off the pitch injured. Hopefully, again, he's okay. And that was it. That's still, Ideguchi still can't get on the pitch. I thought he should have come on instead of McCarthy, but it's not that much of a big deal. I'm hopeful he can get some kind of appearance at some stage, because the other signings we've had in January have had a bit of a chance at it. So maybe that'll come to fruition. I was just so pleased with everybody. There is such, as you say, there's a buzz, there's a unity. I mean, the manager can't do any wrong now. He's everybody's favourite guy. So hopefully they can go out again and put on a big performance on Sunday.
Yes, absolutely. I think they're primed for another big performance. I think it'll be a wee bit more of an open game next Sunday than it was last Sunday. I think just lastly on the performance, I think that, as you say, Tony, there is a buzz about the place. The team are primed for another big performance on Sunday, but the timing of the performance on Saturday was so good, because they were beating teams 6-0 at the start of the season, and watching it, you're thinking maybe Dundee and St Mirren are coming to Celtic Park thinking, if we can have a goal, maybe we'll get something, because this team's mentality and their ability had been questioned at that point. But by now, the teams know what we're all about, and they come and they put 10 behind the ball, and they sit there and they try and frustrate you. So he takes 7 off a team, any team in that stage of season was really positive. Before we look ahead to the cup game, the post-match fixtures, the post-split fixtures have been announced, and Celtic start in 2 weeks away to Ross County before playing Rangers at home, and then they finish with Motherwell at home. I think it's Hearts at home and then Dundee United away. The fixtures have been made. Tony, starting off away to Ross County, who, apart from Celtic, are the foreign team in the country. Rangers are away to Motherwell the day before. If Rangers don't beat Motherwell at Fir Park and Celtic beat Ross County, we can clinch the league at home to Rangers. Although we are all just thinking one at a time. If Rangers don't win at Motherwell, how excited will you be for that trip to Dingwall?
I would just be excited, because it's just closer to the title. I mean, we should win the league for this position. I think everybody agrees, but it's no one yet. I'm not fully relaxed. We were talking about it yet. Your mind still runs a bit mental. So for me, I'm still wanting to make sure we're not thinking, if this one loses, we can win it here, there, or whatever. I mean, that genuinely doesn't bother me. I'd love to win it at Ibrox, but obviously that's not something that can happen. That would be something that would really get me ready for it. I just want to win the fucking league. I don't care where we do it, how we do it. I just want to win the thing. So if Rangers drop points to Motherwell, I'll be buzzing for Ross County. If they beat Motherwell, I'll be buzzing for it as well. It's another opportunity to get closer to the title, whatever way it is. You just want the title wrapped up as early as possible, and if the earliest game we can win it would be Rangers, if they don't get a result against Motherwell, and then we beat them at Parkhead. So no, it's extremely exciting. Get into the last few games, but as I say, I just want to win the league. So hopefully we can beat Ross County and then beat Rangers at Celtic Park, and then that would be effectively done, regardless of the result against Motherwell. So, let's just take care of the semi-final. It is mad to be having this conversation. I'm sure there's so many people who are listening that just never thought we would be anywhere near this title this year. I mean, just thinking back to Midtjylland and fucking West Ham, that was just madness. And Dane Murray and Stephen Welsh playing at centre back, and you're so close to one of the best title wins in my lifetime anyway, in terms of it really gave us a hope. So I'm trying not to get carried away, but I've let myself go here. So look forward to it. Hopefully Motherwell beat them fucking 15-0, but I don't know how good or bad Motherwell are. I think they just get top 6 by fucking, I don't know, we have about 10 seconds to go or something against Livingston. So you never know, maybe they could in Ross County. Or we gave them a rig doing the last time we played them, so hopefully we go up there and do the same again. I don't think my heart could handle another one like the December game with Anthony Ralston, but that's probably one of the moments, if we do win the league, we'll definitely look back on for sure.
I think you're right. I'm not counting any chickens yet. I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm very much thinking of ways that we're going to throw it away, just sheer nature of who I've seen this movie before, sadly. But Andy, 3 of the last 4 games at Celtic Park, surely if we beat Ross County, we're as good as done.
I mean, you would think so. You've got to think it's the away games that are the tricky ones, and obviously the that's probably a good thing that the very first one is an away tie. It's, as I said, it's just because the manager's so fucking relentless. Usually I'm like you in situations like this, Danny, and I'm fucking working out ways we're going to make an arse of it, but I've got the ultimate faith in this manager just to and knew that we're getting obviously so many players back and a real full strength team. I just not what I say it's done right because stranger things have happened in football, but I've just got the ultimate faith in this team and the management to really get it tied up in a line with Tony. Like just hopefully we've not got a repeat of that game at Ross County. I reckon we just go up there and just get the job done, just as soon as possible. Get the job done. And again, it's if something's not working, I think we will make the changes. I think you've seen that. I already mentioned like bringing O'Reilly off the bench and he came on with purpose. Like it just shows you how we've got the ability to change things if need be, and that's what gives me confidence in the ties. Because teams, listen, they're going to go up there, they're going to shut up shop and try and I don't know, put a bus in front of their goal, but we've got the ability now to really make the changes, and hopefully we don't need to rely on Ralston scoring a header late on in the game or anything like that. Hopefully we can get the tie done before then. But I reckon it'll be one. It's either going to be that Rangers game the 1st of May or the Hearts game the following week. I reckon it'll happen. It wouldn't surprise me to see them blow up before it and drop points again. But it's the best part about it is on our hands. They can win 4 of the last 5 when they make one fucking bit of a difference, as long as we go and do the business. So, it's exciting to be in this position, as Tony said. It's just a world away from who we all thought we were going to be. A lot of us were resigned to a year of building and giving the manager a chance to get his own ideas and his own team in, and just now we're just somewhere that I just didn't think it was possible to be potentially staring down the eyes of another league title, already a trophy in the bag, and dare I say a treble.
You dare, you may as well. He who dares wins and all that. Darren, your favourite team, Livingston, didn't make the top 6, which is probably put paid to a third away trip there this season. We probably would have been going there again this season if they'd have crept in. Although we did put that particular goes to rest last month under Big Ange. How does it make you feel a wee bit better that we're not going back there?
It definitely does, Danny, but I think that is just mainly down to not really liking Livy as a club. I think it's not the greatest away day. I don't like the manager. Marvin Bartley beat me on Beat the Pundit, and they've got a shitty plastic pitch, so I think that there's no way that I'd like us to go back there. And so I was quite delighted when Motherwell did get that equaliser in the 93rd minute or whenever it was. But it's just a testament to where we are now, but it means less now than when we were speaking about it 2 months ago, when it looked like Celtic were going to have been to the top 6 already like twice, and we're looking like they were going to have to go to a few grounds 3 times. But obviously that's been sort of like teams like Livy and Hibs and Aberdeen like no making the top 6 has helped us out in that regard. But it's all about just getting the title done. I'm sort of the same as Tony. I just want it done. I don't care when it is. Obviously, if they drop points against Motherwell before we play at Dingwall, then of course I'm going to be ecstatic at the thought of clinching it against them. But I'll take it after the last season. I'll take it if it happens on match day 2 of the split or match day 5 of the split. I'll take it. I obviously hope it's done as soon as possible, but it's something to look forward to. And I think the thing is that'll play into their minds now. I think that obviously we played before them this weekend and they responded at St Mirren, even though they scored 3 less goals, and so we already increased their advantage this weekend. But I think their sort of room for error is absolutely nil now. Whereas like Ross County, I know we hammered them last week when they came to Celtic Park, but that last time up at Dingwall, like if it hadn't been for the ref adding 20 minutes on, we might not have got the winner that night. So it's like you say, it's the last thing you want is another 92nd, 93rd minute winner there. They're great when they happen, but the last thing you would want is to go there and drop points and just even open that door out even a wee bit ajar for them to get any sort of hope or see any sort of light that they could still get back into this title race.
You're right, and I think as much as I'm still nervous and I've not quite called it yet, they could win all of their 5 games after the split and still not win the league. So we're in a great position. There's only 5 games to go. 3 of them are at home, and we've the 2 away games. I know we were talking about the 20 minutes added on time, but the 2 away games that we've been to, we won 2-1 and we won 3-0 away to Dundee United. And the last time we were there, obviously that doesn't mean it's going to happen again, but we've got good memories of there the last time. 3 home games, I think we both won them all in all against the 3 teams that we're going to play at home. So we're in great shape to go on and win the league. And do you know something? And it's cliche and people say the league never lies, but I really do believe a Celtic team does deserve to win the league. I think the manager deserves it. I think the players deserve it. I think the fans deserve it. But just how they've stuck. I mean, that run from November to the international break in February, at the start of March, to get, or whenever it was, to get to there, not just like say 4 clear or 6 clear or 3 points clear as it turned out, but just to be in the title race at that point with the injuries that we had. I mean, we were putting squads out. You were putting squads out in November, December, and you're literally praying that they don't get an injury because you're looking at the bench and it's people, no disrespect these boys, but it's people that you've never heard of that are in the B team. And you've got Boxing Day, the boy Joey Dawson coming on and playing 80 minutes because Kyogo got injured, and to be fair to the boy, he looked handy, but just we were at the bare bones of our squad, and then you think just get it done. I think we were 6 behind, and as much as I didn't think they were playing well, and I did say to you on here that they would fall away as soon as they started dropping points, but they were winning games, and we had to, we were playing after them, I think, every week for about 8 straight weeks. So we had to keep responding, and the team deserve an awful lot of credit for that. The manager, the coaching staff, just the whole club deserves a lot of credit for that. And hopefully in the next month, I think it's at 5 weeks into the league finishes, hopefully we'll be celebrating. I think we will be, but nothing's finished yet. If I think just beat Ross County in 2 weeks and we'll be in good shape. But before Ross County, Tony, is a small matter of a semi-final against our biggest rivals, who we've just beat twice in a row, home and away. This time it's at Hampden. A lot will depend on, I would imagine, on their result on Thursday night, if they can get the confidence boost to get in, qualify for European semi. But do you think their result will affect Celtic in any way, or is it all about Celtic just Big Andrew just know what he wants to do to them and how he's going to set up already?
I don't think Postecoglou could care less about their result. I know that probably people watching the game just from a tactical point of view to get a look at them, but I don't think he would give a shit either way, whether they get beat 5-0 or won 5-0. I think his thinking's always been just about us, even with some people still ask him a bit about Bodo Glimt and their progress. He always just says he's not really interested, he's just concerned about Celtic. So, no, I mean, I think it might have an impact in the game. I mean, that's got a really good chance of going to extra time. They might be a bit tired getting into Sunday's game, something like that suits us. But I think it is a case of just it's all about us on Sunday. If we turn up and we press the way we can and we attack them, and hopefully if we take the lead, we can take chances to build on it. So no, I think I don't think their result on Thursday will be a concern. If they win, it's obviously a good achievement for them, but it doesn't really concern us. So hopefully they get beaten Thursday and then beaten Sunday and lose every other game they ever play. So, but no, I think the manager, he's got another week, which is great. I don't want to say a bonus in being in Europe, because I do wish we were still in the Conference League, but I think that's something we can look at next season, trying to make a bit of a mark in Europe. But I think that's the fact he's got 7 more days to rest the players, train them, go through things. I mean, they all seem really unified, and but I think Postecoglou won a treble. There's no two ways about it. He probably the only cunt in the world that thought Celtic could win a treble when he came into the job. So he'll want to win the treble, and if he beats Rangers on Sunday, you would say he's only a couple of games away from it. So that would be ridiculous if we win a treble. I mean, it's ridiculous enough the fact that we're really good position to win the double, and the league is the big one for me. It's not like the Rodgers year where you were really gunning for the treble. For me, I'm just desperate for the league. But if we win on Sunday, then it'll just all be about winning the treble, and that'll just be an unbelievable achievement. So no, I'm looking forward to Sunday. I don't feel there's much pressure on us. I know it sounds a bit stupid because we're the ascendancy, but I feel as though Van Bronckhorst really needs to beat us, because he's not managed it yet. And if you ever have a look at what they're saying, their forms and whatever, a lot of them don't like him. A lot of them really don't like the manager. And usually when that happens, it ends one way, and it ends with the manager getting the bullet. So I think for us, it's a chance for us to really upset them again and really get them turned further against their manager if we can put them at the cup and then hopefully beat them at Celtic Park. So it is a huge game, but I just feel like our position in the league, whatever happens, come May, we're hopefully still going to be having a party. So, and the fact they're missing Morelos is a big blow. I know people probably say about a lot of sitters he missed against us, but he is a good player, and he's quite agitating to play against. So,
but Tony, I think that's a massive thing that you've said, because I completely agree about the Rodgers first season and this one, where Everton was geared towards a treble pretty much early on. The unbeaten, invincible stuff came into it as the season went on. But there'll be people listening to us saying, what you're talking about, the trebles, Everton, we want to win, that'll be the 5th treble in 6 years. Listen, that would be fantastic. But I do think, I agree with you, I think there's a lot more emphasis on the league this year. I think, as you say, with Rodgers, I remember me and you going back and forth on the Xbox at 4 in the morning, repeatedly thinking about how good it would be to win a treble, because I was only 8 the last time we'd done it, so, and now, we've done it when I was 24, 25, 26, 20, 27. But Dan, I know it's Tony. I think again, Tony's right about the pressure. Obviously, these games come with pressure on Celtic, but I think you know now that you're going to get a base level of performance out of Postecoglou team, and it's pretty high standard. I don't have many fears about us no turning up. Not saying I don't have many fears about us getting beat, because obviously you do, but it's not like the Lennon days, or or before that, the cup semi against them when we lost in penalties under Dyer. You think, if we don't turn up, we might get beat. I'm not really concerned about us turning up, because I think you get, as I say, a kind of base level of performance every week out of this team. But the pressure is all on them. I mean, even if they were to beat Braga on Thursday night, which they're more than capable of doing, if we beat them on Sunday, I think the fans will be wanting Gio out, because of that'll be 3 in a row that they've lost against us. And as Tony said, it effectively sets up a Celtic treble.
Absolutely, as you say, look, Celtic's never going to get near this game with no pressure on them. It's a massive game, and I know the treble, as they've spoken about, we back in December, myself and a load of Celtic fans were quite rightly saying, look, if we only win the League Cup and go close in the league, then you can sort of look at it as a good season, because of the state of the Celtic team that Ange inherited. But as you say, obviously you've got to get past Hearts or Hibs in the final if you win this one, but you're essentially 2 games away from winning the Scottish Cup. And look, we all hope that we won't spectacularly collapse in the league, but we're very close to a monumental thing, and I know it would be our 5th in 6 years and people would try and downplay it in that, but it would be an incredible achievement. And just on what you asked Tony about whether they on Thursday will have an impact on us, I don't really think so. I know that fucking idiot Keith Jackson was out the day wanting Scottish football to give him guards of honour for getting to the quarterfinals, but I don't see sort of any impact in him. Like, if they win, lose or draw, I don't think it'll have an effect on the game on Sunday. I know they had a few go off injured against St Mirren as well, so in that sort of aspect we could be benefiting from them on Thursday if they do pick up more injuries. But at the same time, it's about what Celtic do. I think if Celtic turn up and play like they did on Saturday, or how they did at Ibrox, or the February game at Celtic Park against Rangers, I think we'll have no real issues. And I think this mob, they sort of credited themselves with they were the ones that appointed Van Bronckhorst, and he was their man, and they decided they wanted him, and that's how they got him. And now they're sort of like, it very much does look like Ange might have his number, and if we do get the win on Sunday, that'll be 3 in the space of 3 months that Ange's beat them, and then 2 weeks later they've got to come to Celtic Park, and it could very well be hopefully four wins on the bounce, which is another incredible achievement. Like, as much as I'm saying it might be Ange having Van Bronckhorst's number, but to have taken the Celtic team from a team that hadn't beat them for over 2 years to being a team that could, in the space of 2022, beat them 4 times on the bounce would be quite astonishing. But I know it's the pitch at Hampden, like, it's often said enough that it should benefit Celtic. It's a big pitch with players love having a lot of space to play in, and they should really take advantage of it. And it's just one of them. I know we didn't play them in the League Cup this year, but it'll be the first sort of taste of that sort of 50-50 atmosphere for a few of your players. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully they just react the same way they've done at Celtic Park and Ibrox in the last 2 visits. But I'm very much looking forward to it. Like, I'll no lie, I'll be absolutely disappointed if we don't make it to the Scottish Cup final, just because I think that, I know I'm sort of getting ahead of myself with thinking the league's won, but it's if you beat them on Sunday, you're essentially like Europe dependent. You're almost guaranteeing that they're going to end the season trophyless, and then it's just a sort of civil war over there with wanting rid of the manager and wanting rid of heads of recruitment and that, whereas things are here are relatively rosy compared to what they were 12 months ago. So I'm very much looking forward to it there.
Aye, it'll be it's an exciting time to be a Celtic fan. I think Sunday is going to be massive. I think it's easy saying on Monday night the pressure's all on them, but come Friday we'll all probably be shitting ourselves in the group chat, and by Saturday night it'll be even worse. Andy, leaving the big question to you, if Giakoumakis is fit, does he play or does Kyogo start?
I think Giakoumakis, if he's fit, he starts. If it's just a wee knock, then aye. If it's anything more serious or anything like that, and I don't know if he has to get some pain injections or anything, then I think that would raise the question. But no, I think if it's just a wee knock, he starts. I don't see why he would do. There was a lot of chat even before the game at the weekend. Do we bring Kyogo back in? Do we do this? Do we do that? And listen, Giakoumakis he showed the quality and he showed the problems that he was causing them himself with the Ibrox. I see no reason why he wouldn't. I see the quality, the improvement he brings to the side, and again, if they're sitting there and you need Kyogo, then he's on the bench to come on and obviously improve the team and try and get you that goal if need be. But no, I think you start the big man. If the team's fit, you probably start the same team again. If everybody's fit, I don't really see why you would change it. I'd be fairly surprised.
I don't know. I think as much as I like Giakoumakis, I think he's been brilliant since the turn of the year, and his goals have been invaluable. I know Dan mentioned it earlier on, but he's finally discovered how to have a two-touch finish. I don't know. I'd love to see Kyogo and Maeda in the same team. I was very impressed with what I seen on Saturday, and when they two get firing, I actually think he could play. I think. Sorry, I've just got a text there in the group chat. I think you just play Kyogo. I think that's it. I think him and Maeda, I'd like to see the two of them go at it. And to be honest, I think with a Maeda, and I know it didn't work at the start of the season, but I think with the inclusion of Maeda, I think you could see a front three of Kyogo, Maeda and Giakoumakis, and I think that could work. I think that could work very well with Maeda, because as much as Jota's been phenomenal this season, Abada's had a very good season. And I know Abada can play through the middle, and he scored a couple of goals doing it. But like Jota can do that, whereas I think with I know Giakoumakis can't really play it wide, but if you've got Kyogo and Maeda either side of him, I think the three of them can interchange in different ways. And it could be merely a front three, as in a big guy up top with two wingers. I think it could be merely a kind of natural front three. Right, Tony, prediction for Sunday. How do you see it going, and how many goals do you think Celtic will win by?
I'm going to go for 1-0 Celtic. I think it's going to be an awkward game, and I think Kyogo will get the winner. So I'm going 1-0 to the Leather Belt.
Andy, what do you think?
I think it'll be a tight game for the most part, but I think it finishes 3-1. I think it'll be 2-1 for a while, and they'll be pushing, but I think the difference is similar to the chances it did 40 Abada at the end. I think we take wire them and we win the game 3-1. I think it'll be tight, but comfortable in the end.
And Darren, round it off, please.
For me, it's a Kyogo-inspired 3-0 to Celtic. I think that he has to start. Danny, I know I messaged you when you were sort of debating it there. I just think he's the best player by quite some distance. I know we'll soon be talking about player of the year, and the length of time he's missed will probably rule him out of that for most, but I just think he's played half an hour now. He showed he's not made of glass. He's not going to break down again, hopefully. And if he does, that's just bad luck. And I like Giakoumakis as well. I just think already this season at Hampden, look at Kyogo's impact. It's him that's pressing that leads to the goal against St Johnstone in the semi-final of the League Cup that James Forrest scored. And then you don't need to say any more about the League Cup final, because that was just Kyogo winning the Cup. And I think it's imperative that we play him. I think that Giakoumakis has had two good performances against him, but you've got to give Kyogo a chance to really have a go at them. And I think that the way that they're sort of dropping numbers now with a couple of defenders, I think the pitch at Hampden's just set up for Kyogo to go out there and run riot, and I think it'll be 3-0 to Celtic and Kyogo got a double, Danny.
You've convinced me. You've convinced me that Kyogo's the man. I think Andy's more right. I think it'll be 2-0. I think it'll be tight. I think it'll be a more open game than the one at Ibrox. I know that was fairly end-to-end for a while, but I think with the bigger pitch at Hampden, it'll be a wee bit more open. Without Morelos, I know, don't get me wrong, I know they scored and they had this, for all 5 minutes, they had this fairly troubled, but I do think there's places that they can hurt us, of course, and, Roof just scored a hat-trick yesterday, though. we'll see if Ramsey can play twice in a week. But I don't see where they. I'm not saying I don't see where they score it, because obviously they scored against the last time, but I don't see where they trouble us for a sustained period of the game. If you look at the way when they were beating us, they usually had Morelos roughing up the centre-halves or Kent running at folk, and without Morelos, I think they're a wee bit toothless up front. I'm not saying they'll no score, but I just think they don't. I think we'll have married the game, is what I'm trying to say. I think the game will follow a similar pattern to the 3-0 at Celtic Park. But I think they might be a wee bit more resolute this time. And I'm going to go with Dan. I think he'll go with both of them. I think he'll announce himself. Probably winning. He'll probably clinch it Player of the Year on Sunday. But I'm looking forward to it. I agree with Tony. I'm looking forward to the whole no pressure on us. Obviously there's pressure on us, but all the pressure's on them, it would seem. And especially if they don't go through on Thursday night, I think they could be queuing up to Hampden like lambs to the slaughter. So let's hope all the very best to Braga on Thursday night, and looking forward to hopefully another Celtic treble, which would be the 5th in 6 years, which is just fucking remarkable considering how much we used to sit and talk about how much we wanted the first one under Rodgers. But I think that'll just about do us. If you've made it this far, then thanks very much for listening. We'll be back, judging by results, could be next Wednesday or something, I don't know, but when we're back, you'll know all about it. Thanks for all your support this season so far, and we hope that you tune in and let us take you through the rest of the season as it plays out to a thrilling climax.